What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning into this video. I am super excited to share something really important to me, which is my testimony. So before I get into my testimony, I want to explain my understanding of what a testimony is. And so for the longest time, I had the wrong idea of it, but what a testimony is your story of how you came to know who Christ was and to have him come live in your life and be the center of your life. And so for me, I'd always heard in the past growing up in the church, people's stories about they had addictions and they hit rock bottom, they lost their home, their house, their family, they lost everything, and then they realized that it was only with God in their life that they could achieve a good life and the life that God had for them. And so for the longest time I thought that's what your testimony had to be. It had to be a rock bottom with an amazing realization. And I over the last year have really come to understand and accept the fact that that's not what everyone's testimony is like. For me, it's a slow progression of things that made me realize that I needed to change what I was doing and the way I was, living my life. So that's what I'm going to talk about right now. So go back to when I was a kid. I grew up with an amazing next door neighbor, Miranda, and a best friend. Well, she was best friend, but also another best friend just down the street around the corner. And we did everything together. My aunt would watch us when my mom worked and my dad worked, and all of our parents worked. We would watch us, we'd hang out, we'd do everything together throughout elementary school. We would hang out all the time, do all kinds of fun stuff. And then going into middle school, I slowly lost those two friends. And it was a progression throughout middle school and high school. And it's just we each went our own way. We all went and did our own things, got new friends, things like that. And that totally is understandable and that happens. But for me, it was kind of hard because those were my two really good friends. And I didn't really develop any other friends in middle school. I just had a lot of acquaintances. I mean, everybody knew who I was because I was just as energetic and outgoing as I was than I am now. And that was all great, but and I developed all my business ventures and started doing all kinds of selling stuff. Everybody knew me as the kid who was gonna start a business one day and go big or something like that. Or people I had a professor who'd say Luke's gonna sell ice to Eskimos one day, or he could, or something like that. But so I developed a bunch of acquaintances, but I was slowly losing friends, and I didn't ever have any new friends to go with that. And so that was hard. And I do want to say that I was such a lucky kid because I had amazing parents. Hearing today how many people's parents are divorced and having hard times, or they have step parents and family is just not great, they don't want to be home, things like that. I was lucky to have a loving home. Even though my parents were you can't watch PG-13 until you're 13, you can't play rated M video games until you're 18, and you have to come home every night for family dinner, you can't continue to hang out at the pool and things like that. That was hard for me at the time, and I really didn't like it. Dang, I don't know if you could hear that, but I really didn't like that. And but looking back now, I can really appreciate that. And all of what I'm gonna just share, and what I'm gonna share is I wouldn't have it any other way. That's so important to me. It's everything I've been through, even the hard things, are a blessing. It's really weird to say, but those are a blessing to me, because they shaped me into who I am. And so going to middle school, like I said, I was losing my friends and things like that. And then in high school, it just continued to happen. I continued to feel farther away from them. Still didn't really have any friends. I just had a lot of people I knew, and people knew what I was doing, and I was doing some pretty big business ventures, and so I was proud of that. But I also developed an eating disorder, and that was really hard because that happened in high school and continued through high school and even into college, and I still struggle with it sometimes, but in a different way. And so the thing is with eating disorders, they just morph and change, and it's really complicated. I'm not going to get into that now, but that was part of what I went through too. And even that I consider a blessing because it helped shape me into who I am today, and I can use those struggles to help other people and stuff like that. But that's kind of besides the point. So I went through all of that into high school and then into college. And when I went to college, I thought that I was gonna start owning my faith by going to Bible study, going to crew, doing things like that. I thought that by doing that I was owning my faith. And I got really involved with the business school, and that became the focus of my life, and I was really involved with that. Everybody knew me again, and it was really always about me and people knowing me and me being successful and things like that. And it was just really I mean, it was great and fun, and I learned so much great stuff, but it was just me running on a hamster wheel and just keep going and going and going and going. And I kind of, now looking back, it was really tiring. And it wasn't until this last 6 months that I've had some realizations. And this is where that progression to really feeling I need to own my faith happened. But I started last summer traveling a lot across the country, and through all of these experiences, I said, everything that was good and bad, and through traveling and I went 80 days across the United States out of the back of my car on $2,500. Like, God challenged me so many times and all of that, and he was with me every single time. I went to Europe, was robbed of everything. I didn't have my passport, anything. Like, all I had to go to the embassy in Italy, prove that I was an American citizen, and like find my way back to the United States. It was crazy. And like through all of that, God was with me, and like I didn't really like appreciate that at the time. Like, I thought I was, it just really wasn't like clicking. But then this past summer, I went to another road trip, and I went to California, and I met a bunch of young adults from the Pacific Northwest who were doing some like disciple ministry stuff down in San Diego. And I met this one really awesome person who challenged me, and like that, I'm so glad she challenged me. She asked me, her name was Allison Fox, and she said, how many times have you shared the gospel? She was like, Luke, how many times have you shared the gospel with people when you travel? And I was like, 0. And like I felt ashamed and like convicted, but like I still didn't do anything about it. And like it was like this weird like feeling like, am I really a Christian? Like, I don't know. Like I started questioning it. And so unfortunately I didn't do anything the rest of the summer. But back on campus here, I met a couple people who kind of like really like showed me more and kept reminding me how I needed to like put my faith first in my life. And so it started with somebody by the name of Dale, who I met on campus, just was doing the first look fair, and like he was like, hey, you want to do a Bible study with me? And I was like, I always say yes to opportunities because like that's what I've learned from traveling. And I was like, sure. And so we did a Bible study, and he showed me how there's one instance in the Bible where disciple and Christian are used at the same time, and they're used as synonyms. And so it made me realize, if I'm going to say that I'm a Christian, I have to be a disciple. I have to share my faith. I have to put it first in my life, let people know that I'm a Christian. So that kind of like, you know, really resonated with me again, convicted me, and I thought about it. And then I had like several other little interactions with like former alums and people who are also Christians, and kind of just kept reminding me that I need to change something about what I'm doing, how I'm living my life, so that it's obvious that I'm a Christian, and that like it's obvious that God's first in my life. And so that like those were a bunch of little progressions, but then there was like one last straw. I met this person, and we were just having like a casual conversation. It was just like I was telling them about the high five guy and who the high five guy is and whatnot, and it was just so evident to me that she like had God at the center of her life. Like she was focused, like she was building her life in a way that would make her more like Jesus, and that like would honor God and be a light to everybody else as to who God is. And like, so if like for me, like I was like, wait, if this person who I don't even know, it's like just right off the bat is like sharing about like their faith, and like is an awesome person, and like is sharing about their faith and not like worried about it, and like I was like, whoa, okay, if she's doing this, why can't I do it? And like that's the same mentality that like got me traveling across the country. I was like, if all these people are traveling and making money on social media and stuff like that, why can't I do it? And like the same thing happened again here. It's like, if this person can be so bold in their faith, why aren't I? And like that was the last straw for me. It's like, I need to change something. And so like that's when I decided that like I needed to get baptized. I needed to change the way I was living my life. And so today, or actually Sunday, December 10th, I'm gonna get baptized, and I'm super excited because like for me, like baptism is a way for you, it's a outward expression of your inward faith. Like it's not meant to like be like, oh, like look at me, like it's like my birthday kind of thing. It's like, I want you to know that I am a Christian and God is first in my life. And that means I want you to be able to hold me accountable to it, but I also want you to know that I can hold you accountable to it, and that I'm there with you through everything, because we are brothers and sisters in Christ. And so like for me, that's why like testimony is so important, and that's why like my recent realizations and like all these things are so important to me, and that's why I wanted to make this video, and why I couldn't just stick with the little short clip that like my church is going to show on Sunday morning, because it's just, for me, it's so important, like everything that happened. And I think it's amazing because I'm going to be able to use that to help other people and to share it. And so like, that's why I wanted to make this video. And oh man, it's killing me right now, because the first time I recorded this is the third time, because every time the phone turned off on me or something. But either way, that's my testimony. It wasn't as great as the first time, but it doesn't matter, because my message still got across, and God is in all things. So with that being said, that's my testimony. If you guys have any questions, or if you ever want to talk to me about anything, you ever want me to hold you accountable, or if you want to just talk about whatever, whether you're a Christian or not, like it doesn't matter. I'm always up for talking about anything, especially travel. I like travel a lot. But whatever you guys want to talk about, I'm up for it. Also know that I'm here to be your friend. I know what it's like not to have friends, and I'm not gonna let you do that because we all have one friend if you are willing to accept them, which is God. But also, I'm here to be your friend too. So if you have any questions, if you ever just want to talk, you want to hang out, do whatever, I am up for anything almost. Because yeah, one of my rules is like, yo, go for anything. When in doubt, say yes, unless like you're at risk for like, you know, health and things like that and safety. But either way, I'm up for anything. Let me know. But until next time, high five.